just a matter of time.
The last time the Springboks won a test match before today was here at Loftus Versfeld against Australia in the Rugby Championship of 2016. They're now victorious again by 37-14 against France. Owen Kamani is ready with the post-match presentation.
Yeah, thank you so much, Matthew. Yes, our Casalaga man of the match as the Springbok hooker, Malcolm Marks, an outstanding performance in his first start in the green and gold. And Malcolm, for your effort to receive a gold coin courtesy of the sponsors. And Andrea Quay of SAB, Vice President of Marketing for Casalaga, will present you with your prize. Malcolm, an outstanding performance. You enjoyed your rugby up there today?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was great to be out on the field. I'm so humbled by the experience, and yeah, all I can say is I'm just thankful.
And quality carries, they're enjoying ball in hand?
Yeah, definitely. It's always nice to get some ball in hand, but I mean, obviously it wasn't only me, it was the team that did most of the work, so yeah.
Talking about the team, some fresh faces joined you in the Springbok team this week. What was their contribution?
I mean, great. Everybody did their jobs as well as they could, and yeah, we couldn't have asked for more.
Good luck next week.
Thank you very much.
Well done, Malcolm Marks. Now losing captain, Juan Maestri. Difficult time out there today. You came so close when you came back in that first half, but it was a difficult first test match against South Africa.
Yeah, it was too difficult. Today, congratulations for South African team. Good game, and we hope be better for Tunis game.
Next week, what are you looking to improve the most next week when you take on South Africa in Durban?
Everything.
All the best for next weekend. All tough, not pleased with the performance, France, but for the winning captain, Warren, good start for the 2017 season.
Yeah, it was a great start for us, Owen. Credit to the French, put us under a lot of pressure, and especially that start, we really needed to grind it out, put some points on the board, and we started to get our rhythm, so really proud of the team's performance.
You always felt in control of this clash. Never once did you doubt that you'll pull through as a team?
Look, we did. I thought we exited really well. We played in the right areas, but it was a struggle up front. I mean, it was a fight. The set piece was always up and down, but it was great. Just really proud of the boys. It's been a great 2 weeks for us, but by no means is it finished yet. We've still got 2 massive test matches to come, so we'll enjoy this win and focus on Monday again.
A number of debutants took onto the field today as well. Some experience. France staying back. How has been his contribution when he came on?
It's been fantastic, to have Francie back. He's such a character, and I mean, we know the experience that he has and what a talented player he is. So, such a good balance within the side at the moment. But look, we need to keep our feet on the ground, Owen. Still a lot of work to be done.
Job well done. All the best next week.
Cheers. Thanks, Owen. We just want to say thank you to all the supporters that came out tonight, and can't wait to see you in Durban. Cheers.
Another outstanding performance from the Springboks, and winning their first test match against France, 1 of 3. So 2 more test matches to go. Next stop will be in Durban.
Well done, the Springboks. There was a certain amount of trepidation in the lead up to this match, a little bit of concern, worry, and obviously the memory of last year still rang true for most South African rugby supporters. But well done. What a way to start the season. Still a lot of rugby to come. The French team also, likewise, will probably look at this performance and admit that they didn't quite rock up, weren't quite at the races, but a wonderful way to start the international season. Gentlemen, I think we got past the stage of relief in the first half, and we can actually celebrate and say well done to the Boks. We wanted to see improvements. We saw them, and it also translated to the scoreboard.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the best performances under Alistair's coaching career, in his Springbok coaching career. And well done to his coaching staff, because there was much more intensity in defence, our attack showed variety. We had width from our forwards off 9. We had a variety from Elton at 10. We moved the ball around. Our wings touched the ball a lot. We scored 4 excellent tries. We probably had 3 or 4 other opportunities, particularly from Elton's kicks, that didn't go to hand, which on another day might have done. And often we say Beauden Barrett, best fly-off in the world, because because most of his kicks go to hand. So it's his execution that's so good. But the decision-making of Elton today was outstanding. I thought, the little chip just outside his 22 when Corton Skosana just overran it, had he taken that on the full, it's another opportunity. So, I mean, defence-wise, right at the end, we hold them out. Admittedly, this French side were offloading a bit too much, but they were put under pressure by our defence. And I just quickly want to make a mention of Warren Whiteley, who as a captain, he has an ability to give such enthusiasm to his team. He's obviously a really caring captain who manages through his personality and particularly his care and unselfish attitude towards the rest of his teammates creates a great team spirit, because the work rate of this team was just totally different from last year's team. They just looked disorganized, tired, and lacked energy last year on defence and on attack. This team looked as though they really wanted to play for each other. And please, South Africa, go and support them in Durban. Please go and fill that stadium. This side really deserves it.
Well, Nas, I'm going to ask you about exactly what knock-on effect a result like this will have for the Springboks, especially with 2 more tests still to come in the inbound test. But before we do, a new feature for us for this season is our Amarok moment of toughness. And the result was so good that we don't have one. We've actually got 2. Take a look.
This moment of toughness is brought to you by Amarok. Not just tough, smart.
Still playing a free kick advantage only. Quickly on by Serfontaine for Marks. Look at the strength of the man. Now Plisson. Shot. Big tackle from Jean-Luc Dupré.
We see some real bruising, hard, tough, uncompromising defence from the Springboks.
This moment of toughness is brought to you by Amarok. Not just tough, smart.
Yeah, well, Malcolm Marx was receiving the big prize after the match as well as the Castle Lager man of the match. Wonderful to see the youngsters put their hands up. And these are the guys who are going to be there in 2019. Very important, the knock-on effect. But the knock-on effect immediately, Nas, Nick spoke about the fact that we want to see more people come out in Durban. Hopefully this will have exactly the required outcome.
Somebody had to pay the price, as I mentioned to you a little bit earlier, and unfortunately it's Loftus, okay? So after this performance, I believe the people will start thinking maybe we should support this team, because whatever we've seen today, it was a good performance. But was, for me, actually appreciative is the way Andries Coetzee played, Ross Cronje played, all the younger guys. Mostert actually coming out, Malcolm Marx really having a fantastic game. Kulisi in the tide really worked hard. Opa Mahoche, I thought, a lot of people asked, but why? I hope after these 80 minutes you can understand why. And I think the team as such, and Nick mentioned Warren Whiteley as the captain, but the team as such played really an aggressive kind of game. And I agree with Nick. The most important thing is the French did look like they offloaded too often to nobody, but it's because of the pressure. And as we spoke about it before the game, what happened this morning against the Crusaders. British and Irish Lions really got into their faces. That's what we did to the French today. And I really think that this was a fantastic performance.
Ross Cronje earlier this week admitted that it's been one of the toughest runs in his life the last couple of years after his brother Guy had to retire due to illness from playing rugby. He got incredibly emotional. And Ashwin, looking at just what he achieved today, just how easy and plain and simple his game is, we were so worried about finding the next scrum half in the lead up to the season.
No, we talk about Elton Jantjies, we compliment the performance he's had, but I think the person really responsible for that performance of Elton is Ross Cronje. Is the smoothness with which he gets to the ruck. There was almost no ruck where he was not at the ball, quick onto the ball, passing the ball. So he gets to the breakdown, gets the ball into the fly-off's hands to allow him to make that decision as to what he wants to do. So that quick service, quick delivery, I think is not the biggest man on the field, but a giant performance by Ross Cronje. And then Andries Coetzee, we hardly touched on him before the game, but I think the manner in which he performed today was really outstanding. What a brilliant debut for him. And Malcolm Marx, just an enormous performance from him. But I think we also have to credit the centre combination, Jan Serfontein and Jesse Kriel, how well they sort of defended in the mid, but also they've always been an option throughout the game. And I think ultimately for me, the difference between the two teams is how South Africa, the individuals, they played together as a team. We saw the ones, the names hardly mentioned, the Siya Kolisis, the Eben Etzebeth. They were working hard in the tight phases, getting across the field, getting to the breakdowns, making the tackles to allow the others to roam around. So I think also our loose forward combination, brilliantly done, because they worked together. They knew exactly what was required from which one. And I think that ultimately, the complementary effect of that to the team, I think, is what was the fundamental difference between the French today and the Springboks.
Well, we've been talking about Ross Grenier, and hopefully the guys managed to get him. We're going to cross back to Loftus Versfeld, where Owen Gumane is standing by. And I don't think that Ross is going to give Owen one-word answers. I don't know. We heard that a little earlier. But back to Loftus we go, where Owen, Jean and Victor have got debutant Ross Grenier, who I thought had an absolutely wonderful game. And Owen, you've got to ask that young man just how special this moment was, especially with his brother in mind.
No one-word answers, I promise. It's been an outstanding performance by the Springboks. Ross, on debut, scoring a try, what did that mean for you in your rugby career?
Yeah, and just playing today was a dream come true. And to score a try on top of that was just probably one of the best moments of my life.
Taking back, I mean, people always say, every youngster says, you know, one day I want to play for the Springboks. Was there ever a doubt in your career where you thought, you know, maybe I'll just play Super Rugby for the 10, 12 years, and before you know it, and boom, here you are at Loftus.
Yeah, you've always got that dream of playing for the Springboks. So to finally be able to get here, it was a long road, but I think it was the right time at the moment. So I'm just thoroughly pleased to be here.
They always say your first test match goes by so quickly. Do you remember what time kickoff was?
I've got no idea, but I was sucking some air in that first half. The pace was quite high, but yeah, it was awesome.
I mean, that was a well-rehearsed try. We just saw now ball at the back. You knew there was no fullback, or did you guys are conscious that there was no fullback for the France and you're going to have a go that Dulin was off?
No, we just trained that during the week. We got it wrong, but it worked today. So yeah, very, very stoked about that.
Two gentlemen, if they've got it right in the past, right next to me. You guys, any good questions for us?
Yeah, I think, Ross, you know, you just said you've got a big family. What does this mean in the context of, you know, your brother and the whole family being here? It must be very, very special.
No, it's an unbelievable experience to have my family here watching. My butch here in the stands is actually standing right over there somewhere. But yeah, like I said earlier this week, I've got to play for two now, and yeah, I'm doing my best.
Yeah, it is special. And also, I suppose, you know, you move from the family at home to a new environment, a new family with the Springboks. What does this win actually mean to this new family that you guys have created with the Boks?
Yeah, I mean, we had a great start to this, building this new family last week in Plet, and we took it on to this week as well. And you can really feel the guys are gelling. Like you said, we really becoming a family, and it's just awesome to be part of this team. You guys know, obviously, you and Vic have been there, you've done it, and hopefully we can follow in your guys' footsteps.
Yeah, well, very well done. You know, you really deserve all the accolades. Go join your family, enjoy tonight, and good luck for the next 2 weeks. Thanks for your time.
All the best, brother. Take it. The way Jean said, go join your family, like you doesn't want the guy to hang around with. We want to hang around with all the Springboks. Vic, a good performance, ultimately. Very slow. They absorbed the pressure. What stood out for you today?
I think what I really liked tonight, we were never in trouble. We had the game under control from the first minutes. There was probably for about 10 minutes in the second half where they came into the game a little bit. But for the rest of it, I think tactically we played very well. We managed the game pretty well, and we took our opportunities. There was probably 2-3 more tries in the first half that we could have scored. So it could have been even bigger. So I think a very good performance.
For me also to add on to that, Owen, I think the opportunities that we created is a really pleasing one to see that it was a heads-up rugby, you know, see where the space is, and then having the ability to put the ball into space as well.
Guys, you know, from the sideline, we always have comments and saying we want the Springboks to play a certain way. When you compare the way, the shape, the game plan-wise, is it different from when you were there? Is it different from when you were there?
Yeah, I think the attacking shape is definitely different from... We played pretty much same side. I thought they played middle ruck, two sides today, so they went back to the blind quite often tonight. But again, I think this is just baby steps. I think that's the first step where they want to get to. I think you first have to win, build that confidence, get the team to understand what they want to do, and then you can evolve the game and go more, try maybe even more difficult things on the field.
Jean, we got the win. Any concerns? What would you want to work on critically going forward? You think championship? You got to think next week against France and Durban.
Now look, there's a lot of improvement still till we get to rugby championship. The next focus will be next week. It will be tough next week again. You know, those guys that played in the final of the top 14 will come into recognition for the French as well. So it will be a tough test. But if you take where we are now as a Springbok team compared to where we were last year, this time it's a pass mark. I think all the new guys that got opportunities really showed that they can make that step up. And as a whole, I think all of South Africa will be happy with this performance.
Vic, you were there a couple of years ago. We beat Wales and Durban. A week later, we scrambled to get a win. Any advice, any message for this group of players after getting a win like this? And next weekend, you got to take on France again.
I think, like I said, this is just a first step. There's still plenty to work on in the game. So I think they will take this first step. They'll take some confidence out of it. But now they have to build up the game. We want to beat the All Blacks this year, and that's still a long way away. But I think this was a very good start tonight.
Frans Steyn coming onto the park. Old man, maybe you're the same age as you. Did you think he was right up there? Think he was there? Think he was there?
He's still very young. He was much older.
He's the same age as me, but it feels as if France is so old because he's been playing for so long. But he's only 30 years old, you know, so it's great to have a guy of his experience in the squad. Apparently he's been able to really rub off on the younger guys, and it's important in this environment that you have those sort of leaders. Warren, again tonight, fantastic as a leader, but he'll be the one the first to tell you as well. Same with Vic and myself. It's not just a one-man show being a captain. You need a leadership group, and certainly Frans Steyn fits that bill now, and he adds a lot of value, not only on the field, but from a leadership point and off the field as well.
One of the things that were very evident when the bench came on, realized the opportunity, all of a sudden you think there's people fighting for spaces. Peter Steff starting off the bench, he came on, he brought a bit of grunt, and Frans Hooghout as well. You thought you could see the anger in it, not the anger, but the passion in his face. At one stage he was cleaning a ruck to make sure he got the team back. When you've got competition, what does that do to the family, to a team?
Yeah, I think firstly, if you're a quality team, you always got a great bench as well. And we saw it tonight. Those guys coming on made a difference, and they were experienced guys coming on. So it's fantastic to bring them on. But I think they would like to push to get that start as well. And that's a healthy competition, and we need that in South Africa. We need 3-4 guys that want to push for that position. But I think you always need a strong bench, and the bench made a big difference tonight.
Strong bench. What are you looking forward to next week? Jean, last one.
I'm just looking forward to the game. You know, they'll take a lot of confidence from this game, not only as the starters but as the squad. You can just see the relief from the coaching staff. You know, next week it's about building on this performance, constantly getting better every single weekend, and that'll be their challenge this week. So it's not the end product yet, and I think they've got the end goal in mind, but it's being able to improve on a weekly basis.
Well, great start to the 2017 season by the Springboks. A win right here at Loftus Versfeld. Next weekend we travel down to Durban, where they'll take on a much improved French team. So today I'm sure they'll enjoy the win, but tomorrow they get on the bus, start preparing for next week.
Yeah, well, thanks very much, gentlemen. It is on to Durban for the second test. We've got to speak about the French. And talking about French and speaking, we saw a wonderful post-match press conference. Guys, I don't know if you've got that so that just we could play it again for our viewers in case they missed the post-match press, post-match interview by Owen. Yeah. In case you missed it, this is what Owen had to say.
Next week, what are you looking to improve the most next week when you take on South Africa and Durban?
Everything.
All the best for next weekend.
Everything. Couldn't have put it better.
That's a really succinct answer. Just to the point, everything.
But in all seriousness, they've got to put everything in. There will be a lot of changes. They are going to get a lot of experience back in. They should be tougher. But I was hoping that a big result by the Boks would knock the wind out of the French team sails.
Well, they played as well as they were allowed to play today. They've got good players. We hardly saw Pickemal on the drive today. We hardly saw Gordon when he was on the field. They handled Vakatawa on the wing incredibly well. Hujay they handled well. Seran, I thought, for them when he came on, had a big impact. But I thought that our pressure when they had the ball in hand, our defensive pressure was very good. As I said, the work rate was great. The guys were on their feet quickly, which gave us width on defence. So our first and second defender, having made the tackle, would get up and get into position quickly. So if we look at last year compared with this year, the work rate of the players, far, far better. The captaincy obviously generates that feel-good, they play for each other spirit. The attack, Franco Smith, I think he's had a longer time to get a sort of width to our attack and a variety to our attack, which allows Elton to play the game that he plays for the Lions, which is very positive. And then on defence, the exits, Brendan Venter, he's got a very strong personality, and quite clearly the defensive rigour and how comfortable we were in clearing our lines came from a lot of confidence that he gave to the team. So there have been big step-ups. And finally, it's 23 players. It's not just the 15 who started. I thought the bench who did come on, the guys who came on played really well. So good performance by 23 players against a slightly disorganised French side. But if you get under the French skin, they tend to let their heads drop, and I think next week we can do the same.
Actually, we saw statistically the number of tackles the Boks had to make, telling quite a tale about how good the French were in attack, but it is the defence that they certainly will want to improve on.
No, we made way more tackles than the French, but I think that's because of the organisation. You saw that every time the French were running the ball, there's been a solid defensive line, and we're able to tackle them and then compete, slowing the ball down. But I think the structure that we've shown on defense is also, for me, for this game we had a very calculated default game, because you saw that we hardly ever saw just frivolous kicks that goes up in the air and we chase. Even if we're on the back foot, playing the ball, passing it to a player in space, and then there's a default kick, especially if we see the left foot of Andries Coetzee, as to how we utilize that to transfer the pressure onto the French. And I think that for me was also strategically the approach to the game for the Boks was one where we were in control, even in the moments we were under pressure. So when you see that, all of a sudden we can see a much more matured performance. So whether that comes from the 2 weeks they've had together as a team, because Nick, you'll know from a coaching perspective, if your players can actually go and be cool, calm and collected under pressure, and then transfer that pressure back onto the opposition team, it shows that whatever we're trying to do is coming onto the field and being executed.
Yeah, but I believe they felt a lot more comfortable with the way we wanted to play today. You could see that on the field. I think last year, like we said, very disorganized, but today it was a lot more organized. Yes, the French didn't play all that well, but I believe it's the way we played to put them under pressure. And then I still believe we have to compliment the referee, Glenn Jackson. I feel he actually did a great job. He never allowed the French to get away with anything, any funny scrums. He penalised and he sorted out. The thing that stood out for me the most is if something happened in the scrum, he just didn't give a penalty. He said scrum again. And then the players sort of sorted it out themselves. And that's why I believe we had, in general, a good game by the referee.
Talking about Glenn Jackson, I did receive a question on Twitter about the yellow card which accompanied the penalty try. Suggestion that a yellow card added to a penalty try is a double punishment. Your take on it?
No, unfortunately, it's how the law is written. If there's a penalty try, if there's a try that probably could be scored, and an act of foul play causes that try not to be scored, then you give the penalty try and you give a yellow card to that player. Because it's you have to have a deterrent that's strong enough to stop playing players without the ball. Now, it's very difficult for the player. I feel a bit sorry for Dulan, because he's outpaced by Skosan. He sees that and he starts playing him before he touches the ball. But you're not allowed to do that. And I thought it was an excellent decision, well controlled with the TMO. The discussion with the referee was excellent. He said that the contact was made prior to Skosan touching the ball. So he was being interfered with even before he even got hold of the ball into his hands. And it was certainly not an unfair decision.
But just quickly, let's say it was only a penalty at the end. The player deserved the yellow card. I think, because he actually stopped Skosan scoring the try, that's why it's a penalty.
But the referees are told, I've been in part of the refereeing committee, and they've all been told by World Rugby that the sanction of a penalty try is you yellow card the player who has stopped.
That's why I say.
So every
He
rugby player
deserves the
knows
yellow
it.
card in any case. Doesn't matter how.
You know, if you look at that try we just saw, we saw Kitshoff catching the ball as first receiver and he making a pass back to Jan Serfontein. So again, we just see, and we've seen it often in this game, how a Malcolm Marx be in the middle of the field in the center position. Instead of taking the ball up and running, they're playing the player into space. And, you know, the urgency. You remember the try that was scored against us, then Raymond Rule come. The sense of urgency when chasing the kickoff. I think that levels of urgency from the box, everyone across the field, right in the dying minutes of the game, we saw Asiya Kolisi that have worked so hard throughout the game, still rushing up on the fence. We saw our defensive line going up quickly, putting them under pressure. So it has just been an enlightened performance from the box. You can see a highly motivating performance from them.
Well, if you think that, Ashwin, if you think that last year we were very surprised with the selection for the first team that played against Ireland, and we were surprised because he took experienced players who hadn't showed form. The form team were the Lions. And the lesson possibly that Alistair's learnt this year is when you've got a team that's playing with confidence, that is doing really well in Super Rugby, make sure the body of your team is made up of the Lions players.
But I think that also, Nick, if you look at it, because remember, he came into the job, first coach now in, so now not a lot of time, you have to select the team. So you go for safety then. So you went for experience. Now all of a sudden, a little bit more time, we're able to work with the players, and now you're selecting players on form, putting them in this team, and I think the net result shows what's possible.
Right, before we get to the end of the show, just a quick reminder that every year when the Springboks play, the Chris Berger Petra Jackson Fund gets together for an annual fundraiser. And this year things are slightly different. No ball gowns, no black ties. It's going to be a good old-fashioned South African braai. So if you are still interested, there are still a number of tickets available. It's for a good cause. It's to help the 104 seriously injured rugby players that are on the fund's books to get all the assistance they need. The money will also go to a special coaching clinic for a couple of very lucky youngsters from unfortunate backgrounds who'll be able to have a coaching clinic with the Boks and some SA rugby legends as well. 5,000 Rand will buy you 2 tickets to rub shoulders with the rugby players. And no, whoever it was on Twitter, this is not a yellow card. It's not a yellow card. Just leave me alone. Final thoughts, gents, as we head into the second test in Durban.
Yeah, my final thought is it was a very disappointing year last year. We've started this year well. And I think the crowd was a reflection on last year's performances. And after today, going to Durban, going to Ellis Park, let's get behind this Bok team. It's a young side. They're not going to break millions of records this year, but they're playing with a lot of heart. Go and support them. Go to the field, fill the stadium, and support this team. They really do deserve it.
And a bigger test as well in terms of the personnel that the French will provide. We hope that that will give us a better indication of how well the Boks have done.
I hope they put the best side that they can put together next week. Because we've got the confidence going into the second game. They still now not certain. Where are they?
And if the French lose that one, it's the end of the series for them. Will they have to worry, or end of season?
End of season.
You know, just everything.
Everything. All right, there's still more international rugby to come. Argentina up against England. That's a 9 o'clock kickoff, so hour and a half to that one. The USA up against Ireland as well. The South African A team, which will be taking on the French Barbarians, catch that on the 16th at Moses Mabhida Stadium. Looking forward to that. They'll also be playing in Soweto the following week, and this is confirmation of that second of the Castle incoming series test matches between South Africa and France at Growth Point Kings Park. We're looking forward to what should be a great clash. Nas?
Don't forget the juniors, huh?
Yep.
The junior Springboks as well in the semi-finals.
Semi-final.
Yes, semi-finals of the Junior World Championships. Bafana currently 1-0 leading against Nigeria in an AFCON qualifier, which is wonderful. Let's hope that they can hold on for that victory. Very important for them. And good luck to the Proteas as well in the ICC Champions Trophy tomorrow. That's going to be a biggie. Let's hope that they can finish off better than they started the tournament. It really has been a testing time for them, but they're still in it.
Imagine cricket win. Soccer win, rugby win,
and the 20.
Oh, sorry, I was going to smile on Monday.
Then I'm finished. If they all win, I'm going to shave my head. No, I'm not going to shave my head. Thank you very much, all of you at home, for joining us. Well done to the Springboks. Looking forward to possibly an even tougher match next weekend in Durban. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
too familiar with pain, I'm too familiar with pride. I've been on my knees 6, but gotten up 7 times. I've been watching the clock, 10,000 hours go by. I keep putting in work, the tears are filling my eyes. I swear I never been tested like this, but this is mine. Never look back. If something standing in my way, I always push back. If something seemed impossible, I never took that. Nah, cause now I know better. Can't stop, won't stop, I won't quit ever. This world is won't take me.